Welcome to Beholder's Eye, a 5th edition actual play Dungeons & Dragons podcast. Thank you for joining us. My name is Alex, and I'll be your host and Dungeon Master. Joining me, as always, is...
Magnar Skullgrim, Goliath Sorcerer.
Overnight, Fire Against Eye, Dragon Sorcerer.
Margraine Silverbeard, Dwarf Paladin.
All right, so who's going to do the recap of last episode?
I can do the recap.
Yeah.
That sounds great. Yeah. So last episode, let's see. We finished up with the Trapper's Lodge, didn't we?
Yeah, I think we started the
left.
Trapper's Lodge.
Yeah, and we started the Trapper's Lodge. We decided that we're not going to go into the running the bar business. I was a little bit disappointed. Yeah. But you know, things only went up from there. You know, we definitely made an improvement. We got to the mine, which was nice. Hadn't seen a mine in a while. Margraine was very excited, and we were immediately encountered one of my dying brethren. So that's nice. Pulled into the mine by a beast, who I proceeded to flail at wildly and do a bunch of nothing. Let's see. We decided after, talking to those guys and, them being, springing upon us out of nowhere and completely wrecking us, we decided, the best thing to do would be to take a nap for about an hour. And then, as far as I can tell, the world ended. So, yeah, a mountain fell on me.
Demon thing got released?
Yeah, a long spindly red demon thingy.
Right, and one thing that happened is while you guys were resting, there was some singing and chanting going on that sounded very...
the smell of blood.
Yeah, it was very disturbing, but you guys were just like, nah, I gotta take a nap.
Yeah, we need an hour nap. We're smart. Yeah. Oh, that's right. I failed at running.
We all failed it. We failed so bad.
Yeah. I just couldn't run. I think that's what happened last time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we will pick it up right after the events of last episode when the mountain came down on top of you. So darkness surrounds you guys. You can see through the cracks of the rocks there is some starlight out there. Some flakes of snow are coming down. You feel your body's completely broken. Magnar, you are having trouble breathing at this point, and you can't feel your limbs at all. And Margraine, your armor is split, and you can actually see some bones from your ribs that are split, sticking out through your skin. The only light source you have is from the red glow of that silver that was in the mine, some veins, which seem to highlight everything. And as far as you, Hibonite, you can actually see your elbow on your right arm is bent in, and your whole arm is twisted backwards, looking right at you. And then slowly, you guys are consumed by the darkness.
Produce flame.
I don't think he meant that kind of darkness.
No, I think he meant we passed out. Sorry.
Yep.
Or we're dead. I might be dead.
A session of rolling characters then.
See a small bright light.
I see the light. Oh no, I'm dying. I'm really dying.
So yes, you're in darkness, and suddenly exploding from the darkness, you're surrounded by different runes and symbols that you don't understand. Some of them are in flames, others seem to be focused on some other kind of magical energy that has created them, and they're flying past your heads. It's like you're moving through space, but you don't feel any wind on your face. You just get the sensation that you're moving very quickly. And then suddenly you're in darkness again, and then there is a point of light just far in the distance. As you guys are moving toward it, you do see a small figure illuminated. and it's very clear you're being drawn toward it. As you guys look around, there is nothing around you. You don't even hear sound. It is just completely void. It's not like it's dark. It's just there's nothing there. And at times you'll look over your shoulder at one of the other, and it's like you're standing right next to each other. And then other times it's like they're 1,000 yards away, and you're just seeing them. But all of you are lit up in this darkness as though there's a spotlight on you, and with no source. You're just completely illuminated. And as you get closer to this figure, you see it looks like a very gaunt, tall, gray-skinned human. He's wearing nothing but a ragged loincloth, and his eyes are sewn shut. And his mouth is hanging open as though his jaw is just broken and barely hanging on. He's got a really long, swollen gray tongue that just hangs out of his mouth. And then you hear a voice. It's not, you know it's coming from this person, but it doesn't seem to be coming from his mouth.
I am Meldlum, gatekeeper to your afterlife. You have been granted a boon by a great power on your world. You have a chance to return to your lives. Only by passing 3 trials shall you be guaranteed to return. You must use your reasoning, your judgment, and your might.
So, that's what's going on in front of you.
Yeah, so we're dead then. We can't pass those trials.
Yeah, we can.
So we're going to die.
All right. Do you guys have any questions right out the gate, or?
Are we wearing anything? Do we have our stuff, or are we like buck naked?
Yeah, it looks like you're just as you were right before the mountain fell on you.
Oh, what are these trials?
They are 3 trials. As I said, 1 will be focused on your reasoning, 1 will be focused on your might, and the other will be focused on your judgment.
I see. Well, my friends, it seems that we need to get out of this. Theos will guide us.
And then suddenly, Meldlum is gigantic in front of you. You're all basically floating in front of his gaping open mouth, and his tongue slowly just kind of turns, and you hear kind of the it's a sound like skin that's been sitting on a leather seat for too long on a hot day, and it just kind of tears a little bit as his tongue moves and curls down and up toward you. And you're all small enough now that you can fit in his mouth, and you hear a whooshing sound as he sucks you in. And you are once again in darkness, though this time it is like darkness. And you see in front of you... Well, here, let me explain what's going to go on here. Okay, so I've got 3 scenarios set up, and obviously you guys are dying. So the way it's going to work is if you pass the scenarios, if you succeed, then you will get a guaranteed death save success. If you don't, you have to roll and take whatever the result is.
Oh,
got it.
Cool.
So we only have to pass 3, only like last time. So we did that well. Okay.
Can we all go together on the same ones?
Come on. Yeah, absolutely. I have faith we can do this.
Can we all do a team effort try on the might one?
So a figure emerges from the darkness. A swirling magical energy of fire appears. And then it solidifies into a great red dragon. And it looks down at you, Hibonite, and it says,
I have many tongues, but cannot taste. By me, most things are turned to waste. I crack and snap, yet I stay whole. I may take the largest toll. I assisted all the first men, and I will pay them all back again. Around me, people snuggle and sleep, yet run when I am released from my keep. I jump around and leap and bound. The cold man wishes I had found.
Ooh. Fire.
Yeah, that was my first thought.
And then the dragon disappears.
Does that mean I passed? Disappearing dragon person.
Nobody responds. And then out of the nothingness again, the magical circle appears. And this time it comes to the height of a female elf. She's covered by a hood, but you recognize the form, Magnar. She raises the hood and she has the head of a wolf. And she says, I run through hills. I veer around mountains. I leap over rivers and crawl through the forest. Step out your door to find me.
Can I get help? Poetry's not my thing.
Are we able to help him?
Yeah, you can try.
All I can think of is wind, Magna.
Can I hear it again?
I run through hills. I veer around mountains. I leap over rivers and crawl through the forests. Step out your door to find me.
Wind makes sense to me. I'm not sure what else it could be.
Yeah, that's it.
That seems a little weird. Out the door. And it crawls through forests.
It veers round mountains.
Water. Wind makes more sense.
But it goes over rivers, right?
Yeah, yes.
Huh.
Come out the door. There's not really wind in a building. So
That's the only thing I can think of.
wind. Final answer.
Then the elven woman with the wolf head disappears. And finally, there is the magic appears again, and this time a man appears in front of you, Margraine. Very tall, and then he switches into a dwarf. All the while, he has the emblem of St. Eligius on his chest. And he kind of vacillates between the two as he stands in front of you.
Okay.
Stronger than steel and older than time, they are more patient than death, and shall stand even when the stars have ceased to shine. Their strength is embedded in roots buried deep, where the sands and frosts of ages can never hope to touch or reach.
Stone. They're the stones?
And he disappears. Suddenly you guys are back under the mountain. Your pain is raging through your system, and you hear your own breaths just loudly, just... So, Magnar, go ahead and make a roll for me. The other two succeed.
All right.
Sorry, Magna.
Oh. 8. Great.
That's our number, man.
It's our fucking number, isn't it?
All right. Then you guys are suddenly back in the darkness, and you are standing in a hallway. Meldlum is floating in front of you and says,
Now is a time for your judgment. All three of you must succeed together.
and he disappears. You're in a very ornate room, marble floors, wood paneling, or not wood paneling, wood, giant wood doors in front of you. It's opened, and you see what looks like a courtroom, a modern-day courtroom. Everybody in there turns and looks at you, and it's all different races that you'd be familiar with. The judge is a very fat human. Everybody turns and smiles at you, and there's something off. Their eyes are all a little bit too big. Their grins are too big. It's just not quite right. You notice in the grins of all of them, their gums are way too large, and their teeth are just too small, and you notice they're all pointed. They all turn toward you. In the center of the room, on the wall, behind the judge, is a large scale that's just even.
Welcome,
the judge says.
It's our jovesticators have come in, so you know what you must do. Come in.
I'll walk forward.
We'll walk forward too.
Right, investigators, once again, you have been tasked by this court to determine who is guilty and who should be set free in this case. Once again, we should remind you that you must find out who among the two is the guilty party and determine who should be punished. And of course, that will be put to death in this case of murder. Both of the defendants are here for you to question.
And you see in front of you a gnome who is bruised and beaten. He's got some fresh bruises on his body, and his nose is like still a little bit runny with blood. There's some blood crusted on it. And then next to him, you also see a very tall, very handsome high elf, and he is dressed ornately, obviously a noble of some kind. And they're standing in front of the courtroom, obviously expecting you to do something.
Do we recognize the gnome?
No, you don't recognize them at all.
And the half-elf is not bloody?
No. He's very clean, very well put together.
Our job is to determine who's guilty in this case. Well, they said we can ask questions. I'll walk up to the gnome and I'll ask him the question. So, the thing set before us is to determine your innocence or your guilt. For my first question, I'll ask, are you responsible for this murder?
No, of course not. I'm not responsible at all. I'm just a humble servant.
And am I able to insight check him?
Yeah.
Can I do that as well?
Yep.
14?
10.
15.
He seems, Magnar, you get the feeling he's not telling the whole truth, but you don't have it's not, there's something up, you don't know in what way.
Okay. I was going to say, I'll lean in to Margraine.
Like, he's not telling everything.
I see. Okay. And I'll walk over to the elven man, and I'll go, and for you, the same question. Are you guilty of this murder?
Of killing my own son, I do not think so.
I'd like to insight him also.
Agreed.
15.
14 again.
17.
He seems to be telling the truth as far as you know, though, Magnar, you're also getting that something's not quite correct.
Right. Okay. So, I'll go back to the gnome, and I'll say, while you sound in truth, my friend here says that might not be everything. Tell me, if you did not, what are you holding back?
Nothing to hold back. I did not do it.
You didn't, and I'm expected that the man there said that this is his son in question.
Yes.
I'm not a father, but I struggle to believe a man would kill his own son.
I did not accuse him of killing his own son. I just didn't do it.
You didn't.
No.
I see.
Hibbonites are coming at this point. My little friend, could you describe to us what happened?
Yes. I am Master Gabriel's slave, and I was assigned to him, and I did everything I could for Master Gabriel, and then one night I went to bed after putting Master Gabriel to bed, and then in the next morning he was found dead. He had been stabbed.
The last time you saw Master Gabriel, you would safely put him in his chambers.
Yes.
I see.
And I turned to the high elf. Is it high elf? The elf. And my friend, could you describe to us what you believe happened?
It's quite clear, isn't it? This disgusting slave was tired of being a slave. He was tired of living around such... like a person. He was tired of being treated... Gabriel was a bit mean, after all. I mean, he did cut off the poor gnome's fingers and make him wear it as a necklace, as you can see. And you guys notice that he's got 2, like, bones hanging...
That is horrendous.
Yes, it was horrendous, but, boys will be boys, and he was becoming a man. That was 2 years ago.
That is not a boy thing.
Excuse me. Do you know who I am?
I don't care. There's no call for that, ever.
And what is your title?
Well, I can answer that for you. We are the one determining guilt here. We are the ones who are deciding, and wouldn't that make us rather important right now?
Yes, it would, and if you had a sense in your head, you'd know I didn't do it.
Yes, well, as I said, I struggle to believe a man killed his own son. But, right here, you yourself speak with derision towards this gnome, a man who has been your loyal, well, slave for many, many years, despite all the hardships.
Oh, I don't know how loyal he was. I mean, he had to be. He's a slave. Where would he go? I went into his realm and took him from his... He has no life. Where would he go? He has to be loyal to us. It doesn't mean that slaves aren't angry. That's why they must be beaten regularly to know that they physically cannot escape.
So with that, I have a question for you, sir. If the slave did indeed kill your son, why would he? He still continues to be a slave. He may even end up dead.
I don't know.
What does it serve him?
I don't know. These creatures, who knows what goes on in their mind?
Did you actually find him with the knife? Did you find him in the room?
No, he was play acting the next day. Well, he's the one who let everyone know. Master Gabriel's been killed, and, he came running out of the room and let us all know.
So what caused suspicion?
Well, who else would it be?
Kind sir, if I could ask, what is your title?
My name is Sir Caden Swallhollow. I am a knight of the realm.
And what would anyone gain from your son dying?
Who would gain? What?
What would anyone gain? What would it cause? Would it send a message? Sure. Could it be an enemy of yours outside of your house?
Oh, no one would be foolish enough to do that. I am one of the most powerful nobles in the land. And I bring so much wealth to the kingdom on my raids to these other dimensions.
I'll walk over to the gnome. So we've learned that I would feel, although you may be a loyal slave to your master, that that you may not have liked Master Gabriel. Is that correct?
No, I hated him.
Yes. And I think you're justified. Look how horrible he was to you. But tell me now. You said you didn't kill Master Gabriel.
No.
And I myself, I would hardly believe that you wouldn't at least want to kill him. Tell me why it would be that you wouldn't have killed your master.
What else would I do? I have nowhere else to go. I'm not from this world. I don't have family. There's nowhere for me to go.
I see.
All right, I'll go up to the gnome.
You say that you did not kill your master.
No.
Did you hire someone to kill your master?
With what? I don't even have all my fingers.
That's valid.
I'm going to turn to the high elf again. Or elf. How was your son murdered? What method was used?
He was stabbed, they say, over 20 times with a common butcher knife.
From a higher angle or a lower angle?
Oh, it was definitely over him while he slept.
And the butcher knife, was the butcher knife ever recovered?
Yes.
See.
Did it come from your kitchen or his kitchen?
Yes, it looks like it came from our kitchen, yes.
So wouldn't the chef be the more likely suspect?
No, not at all.
And tell me, how old was your son?
Well, he was a young lad of about 60.
60. I see. And how long has this man here been in service of your son?
Oh, maybe about 15 years at this point.
15 years.
Was your son ambitious?
No, not at all. I had to constantly just smack him about to try and toughen him up. He was a weak lad, to say the least. A real disappointment overall. I still just didn't want him dead, of course.
From your position of power, would you say, as a Knight of the Realm and doing your raids, would you say your son was not bringing honor to your house with his feebleness?
I don't... Honor? No. No, he wasn't. He was an embarrassment. That very day I had been on a raid, spent most of the day out there on our ship, and then returned home, and he had been home all day.
Is he married?
He was a disappointment. No.
Do you have any other sons, sir?
I do not.
You do not.
Daughters, perhaps?
No.
So this was your only child?
Yes, that is why, even though he was a coward and a weakling, he was still my son. He was my heir.
And are you able to conceive another child?
How dare you, sir? If I were not bound...
Oh my god. I'm not talking about just yourself, sir. Of course you're able to conceive a child, I can see that clearly. But I'm saying, are you still with a wife, or are you a widower?
No, I am married. It's just we were happy with our child, and now it's as though we are starting over.
I see. And I'll walk back over to the gnome, and so now recount to me exactly how you found your master. You are the one who found him after he died.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. I went in, as I do every morning, to wake him up and bring him fresh clothes and talcum powder so he could get a fresh start to the day. And as I walked in, it was very clear from the beginning that things were wrong. There was blood all over the sheets, and he was laying in a position he does not normally lay. And I ran out of the room, and I yelled for help, and I don't really remember much after that. It happened very quickly.
Would I be able to insight that, Alex?
You'd have to go off your previous insight check.
Okay. So, does that 14 get me anything?
No. He seems genuine as far as you can tell. There's nothing.
And I'll turn to the elf. And what state was this man? And I'll motion to the gnome. What state was he in when you found him, sir? When he came and informed you, how did he look? Recount every detail.
Well, he seemed terrified. From what I'm told, I was still sleeping. It had been a long night of. We had some wine. And so he had already alerted the guards, and of course they had begun questioning him at that point. And so, he looked scared and obviously a little bit bruised and bloody.
I see. Now, and I'll kind of turn to the whole court, kind of gesture around. Now, these guards, are we able to speak to these guards?
Yes, that would be no problem at all. And so Perfect. They bring in 2 guards. An orc and a human named Anson. The human is, "Hello, my name is Anson," and the orc says,
"Hi, my name is Reginald."
Hello, Reginald. Hello, Anson. Now, tell me, you were the first person that this man here came. You two were the first people he came to.
Yes.
After he says he found his master dead. Recount to me exactly what you saw when he came to you.
Well, he came in and he said, Master Gabriel's dead. And he was crying, and he was trying to cry, but I didn't see any tears. He was just doing the you know how you like cry, but you're not crying. You just like, you know, like a baby does sometimes when it needs attention.
I see.
Yeah. Oh, he did it. You know. And then Anson and I, we held him down a little bit. And then I smacked him about, and then he confessed to me right then that he did it.
And I'll turn to the gnome, and Did you indeed confess to this man?
No, not at all. And with your previous insight, you can tell he's lying there.
He's lying. Okay. And I'll kind of. I'll motion to Magnar and Hibonite so that they can bend down so I can whisper to them because I'm so short.
Okay, bend down.
He did lie about confessing.
But that was probably under duress. He's a very little thing. I don't think he would have liked being hit so many times. I think he'd say anything to get out.
Yes, that's how torture works. You get the answer you're looking for.
Exactly.
Big word, duress, my friend.
Thank you.
Do you guys have any questions? I'm at a little bit of a loss.
From talking to the elf, I think it could be he orchestrated it just from dishonor to his family, and he sounds like he could easily get another child. His instant disgust at my suggestion of it made me suspicious.
I do have a line of questioning for the elf that I think might be illuminating.
I can do our Dragonborn trick on him if you like. Try and trip him up.
Yes. Yeah. Does that sound good to you, Magna?
I think that's good. Yes.
Okay. And I'll kind of pull away from the huddle, and I'll walk up to the elf, and I'll go. So. You, sir, you said that you are the one who took this man from his land and made him your slave, correct?
Yes, of course. And he looks around very proudly.
But as Sam's questioning him, I'm going to be doing subtle casting if I can.
Sure.
My hand pointing and using message on the elf. And just first time, it's just going to be confess to your crimes.
Okay.
And the elf is going to look at you, and in your head, he's going to say, I have destroyed worlds filled with people as weak as you are. Don't try your little parlor tricks on me.
Ooh, bird.
Okay.
When I get a chance, I'll message Sam and say it didn't work.
And I'll ask him another question. So this man is your property, correct?
Yes.
Yes. And tell me, when your son cut off his fingers and hung them around his neck,
Yes.
What happened to your son?
What do you mean?
Was he punished at all?
No. It's grotesque, and it's not something that I approve of myself, but, it is his property. He can do with it what he wants.
I see. And, you are a knight.
If a child breaks his own toy, who am I to stop him?
I can see that reasoning, but say, so you are a knight. You're obviously familiar with swords.
Yes.
That say you gave your son a sword.
Yes.
And he abused it, and he misused it, and he one day, cut himself, and he gravely injured himself with his own sword.
Yes.
Is that not your son's own fault?
Are you saying that if this slave, this non-person, this thing, kills my son, it is somehow my son's fault, or even mine, from what you're saying? Is that what you're accusing me of?
I'm going to step in. Is it true? Can you blame an object for a murder?
Yes. Yes. Just the same as you could blame a rabid dog who kills some school children. The dog must be put down.
So the glory of your battles is not your achievement, it is your swords.
I don't follow your logic there. And quite frankly, it's coming down to semantics, which I don't know what you're trying to do.
You picked up on it, Ryan. Cool. Okay. Now, and I'll turn to the gnome, and so now while it's horrible, you have not told me the truth. You said you did not confess to these guards, and I'll mention to the guards, and I myself don't quite believe you. Now I would suggest to everybody here in this courtroom, as we are determining guilt, the easiest and best course of action for everybody would be to tell me the truth, no matter what, whether it's a confession to these gods or anything. What happened? Now, and I'll ask you again, did you confess to those gods?
And the gnome hangs his head low,
says, yes, I did.
and then he lifts up his tunic,
and
he says,
this is why I wanted the pain to stop.
and you see welts, burn marks on his body, like somebody had been taking an iron poker that was red hot and laying it on his skin.
Tell me now, okay? I'll ask you the first question I asked you again.
Yes.
Now you've heard my questions here in the courtroom to everybody for all to hear. Did you kill your master?
I did not kill my master.
You did not. Now, who did kill your master?
I don't know, but I didn't do it.
And I still believe him like the first time?
Yep.
Okay.
I mean, you may, given the fact that he lied to you once, you may believe him a little bit less, but there's nothing new indicating that.
Okay.
Margaret, one night, sidebar.
Yeah.
Sidebar.
So, if I have a feeling that neither of these two did it.
Yes.
But is our task to find the guilty one or to just place judgment on these two?
They said we were to judge one of these two. I think there might be a third option. I think the guards would be the best place to start for that, though, yes?
I agree. I mean, maybe you're pretty good at this, Margraine. Maybe ask them questions, these same questions, like, do they have a reason to murder their master?
We could We could find out who has access to that wing as well at the same time.
His guards wouldn't they?
But they would also know if they were the guards for that area. They should surely know who else was in the area during the night.
And if they're an orc and a human working for an elf, more than likely they are conquered slaves as well, who have just as good reason, but blame it on the weaker person like the gnome.
Yes. And I think the fact that when he reported it to them that they decided to beat him instead of checking on their master is telling. Maybe we can ask.
Yes, very good.
Okay. I'll walk over to them unless somebody else wants to.
I'll walk over with you.
Okay.
Well, yes, I'll walk over too.
Now, you two men.
Yes.
You were truthful in that he confessed. He even confessed right now that he confessed to you.
Yeah.
Tell me, you are guards, right?
Yes, we are.
You're responsible for the safety of your master.
Well, yes, we are.
How is it your master ended up dead?
Oh, he's not our master. Sir Caden's our master.
I see.
Surely the master's son is just as important to you as the master. The master is a clearly capable warrior. His son, who's highly prized by him, and you know is not a good warrior, should surely be your main objective. If you were defending that section of his estate.
No, because it's not. I mean, I don't know. We weren't there, but
now tell me.
We fight. Yes.
I see you're having problems thinking.
No.
Now tell me this. So say I came to you, saying that your master's son had been killed.
Okay.
Okay. For guards, it shows little concern for your master's son that your first course of action would be to beat the confession out of the man.
Well,
without even checking on your master's son.
I mean, we're not the only guards.
Okay. Well, what else do you do?
What? I guard, and then when we go on raids, I raid, and then whenever, yes.
And tell me, does your master like you?
I think so. I'm probably his favorite. I killed so many people last time.
Yeah.
Yesterday, I was just hacking and slashing, and there were like these women and children screaming, and I just cut right through them. It was a good time.
I see.
And what would you say your master's son thinks of you?
I don't know that he does. Do you think he does? Do you think he does at all? I mean, I'm sure maybe. I'm sure Sir Kate has probably talked about me, so he probably thinks that I'm a great warrior, and he's happy that I live in the castle with him.
Yeah, it really is a shame, a weakling like his son will stand to inherit all of this, isn't it?
Well, it's not for me to say. I get the opportunity to. I was born. My family were farmers and had nowhere to go, just working for the master. But, being one of his guards, it's a huge honor and a great opportunity, whether it's the master or one day when the master's son became the master.
But surely you don't think obviously this man's best and favourite warrior should stand to inherit something more of a higher station than just a guard? Especially when you, as you've said, they must think so highly of you. It's a highly decorated warrior.
Maybe. And he looks expectantly over at Sir Caden, with an expression like, am I getting something? Yeah?
And was anyone else in that section of the estate during the night?
Well, I mean, as the family wing, there were a number,
So the family, it's the family wing.
Yes.
Tell me, who's in that wing of the house at night?
Well, there's Lady Swall Hollow, and then Master Swall Hollow, and then Sir Caden, and then Gabriel's over there. And then they have all their attendants as well. Ladies in waiting, and, of course...
Tell me now, with this slave here, with all those people in that wing of the house, what led you to believe that it was him when he came to you saying that his master had died?
Well, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Like, who else would do it?
Tell me, who else would do it?
That's what I'm saying. Nobody.
Why just this one? Surely he treated all of his slaves the same.
No, not really. I mean, once... he'd have lessons from his father. He'd typically, really look at Kearney over there and take it out on him specifically.
And my friend, let me ask you a question. If you were to kill, when you kill someone, you knew the family of the person you killed was dangerous and could easily outmatch you and destroy you, would you go straight to that family and tell them that you had killed one of their loved ones?
No, I would run away. I'm good at hiding too, and I can shoot things from the shadows. Very good.
And if you say that, what makes you think that this very small creature over there would run straight to you?
Well, he's a stupid gnome, isn't he? Oh, he's stupid.
And I'll turn to the other guard and I'll say, do you have anything to say about any of this?
Well, I don't really agree with everything that Reginald said, but or the way he said it, at least. I don't.
How would you say?
There's no one else that would have the animosity toward Gabriel that Kearney has.
I see.
It just makes no sense. He was a slight lad and ineffectual overall. He was quiet around most people and wouldn't really get anybody's ire up by any means.
I see.
What about the mother? How did she react to her son?
Well, she's in mourning as we speak. She's not even here for the trial.
No, I mean before the murder. How did they get along?
Oh, very well. Probably, and if I may speak freely, I've heard Sir Caden say probably they get along too well. and that he took too much after his mother.
How can you get along too well with your mother? That doesn't make sense.
Well, he was rather not. He wasn't. I'm not sure. He just got along too well with his mother. That's what I've heard Sir Caden say.
And what if I could ask you as well, sir, what business would Cadian have had? Did he have many business partners who came into the estate? Did he operate in a larger business outside of his father at all, or was his father solely for his business solely for his father?
Oh, you mean Gabriel, the son?
Gabriel, the son.
No, he was really not involved with. Like I said, he wasn't outgoing. He wasn't involved with much of anything.
So he didn't have any enemies. He didn't do any business deals. He wasn't trading at all. He was solely under the service of his father.
Yes, honestly, I think this is the most I've ever spoken about him.
What do you know of any enemies? You go on raids with the master as well, I'm assuming.
Oh yes. But any enemies that we made on the raids?
Yeah. Are there powerful enemies or enemies inside your own kingdom that could feel animosity towards your master, maybe try and take it out on his son to cause your master pain?
There could be. I'm not too versed in politics, though. But I know nobody from any of our raids would come get us. I mean, most places we go don't have the ships that we have and can't travel back here.
Are there any other houses of your kingdom that you have a particular rivalry with? Maybe some small animosity that maybe goes back through the family's bloodlines? Well,
there's House Cambria, which, of course, we know is our greatest rival, but I don't see how they could... For everything that Reginald was saying over there, and I understand your line of questioning, as guards, we are very focused on external threats more than internal ones. There's no way that anybody from House Cambria would get into the castle.
And the last question for me, were there any visitors the night of the Master Son's death?
No, it was a pretty standard night after a raid. I mean, we all who went on the raid enjoyed ourselves, celebrated what we had accomplished, and...
So security at the estate would have been more lax because of the festivities?
No, of course not. We do this regularly enough that, of course, we work in shifts. Not everybody goes at every time.
Sidebar?
Sidebar.
Yes.
So what we have now, I've got two options right now. We can't ask more questions, but for me, it's either the guard or I think the father's responsible for this. Not that he killed his son, but even if the gnome killed his son, he raised a vile human, he raised a vile spawn that tortured this poor thing.
I'm not so much towards the guards. I think it may be a third party getting involved. It may not be the gnome. The gnome may have been working for them, but at the end of the day, the root cause would be the father's business.
Yeah, I think the father's responsible for his son's death. No,
I think at the core of it, I would say the father is the root. I'm not exactly sure the exact killer or reason.
Not directly, but in the end, it boils down to him. Yeah,
I would agree with that. What about you, MacLeod?
I agree that the father is the reason this happened, but he is not guilty. I don't think.
I know, but Magna, you're rather big and intimidating. I'm strong, but people don't tend to fear me. I think there's something you can do to help.
Okay. Do you want me to just scare them?
Well, you're the one who told me that the gnome wasn't entirely truthful.
We could also go with a guilty by association and not responsible verdict, where we can say the man is guilty but not deserving of punishment.
What? No. As far as I'm aware from what they laid in front of us, we deem someone guilty and they die.
Yes, that's what I heard too.
For me, out of the two options, the master is the one more deserving of death, no?
If we have to choose...
You can also ask, don't forget guys, you can, it's not just you guys in there, so you could ask the judge the rules again, like juries do.
Yeah, we can ask the judge the rules again, I guess. That might be a hint,
Who'd have thought?
I suggest we talk to the judge.
Okay.
Good idea.
You guys talk to the judge.
Yes, so you are to pass judgment through your investigation. If you find anyone guilty, you are to pass judgment on them.
Can we pass a punishment of guilty but not deserving of punishment?
No, but if you do not have enough evidence, you can let me know there is not enough evidence, and the trial will not proceed.
And tell me, you're the judge, so if
Yes.
we deem one guilty,
Yes.
you would be determining what level of punishment, correct?
Oh, it's death.
It's death.
Yes,
I
this is
see.
murder. Murder of a noble. There is nothing else but death.
I see. And could you inform me as to the law surrounding this? What rights does this slave have as a slave?
What do you mean?
He obviously, you say he can be responsible for killing his master,
Yes.
but is he able to make his own decisions?
Yes. Why would he not? Yes.
Well,
but
I'm
we
just-
are a gracious society, so we do not automatically assume it is a slave.
See, that's why there's a trial in the first place.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Yes, I'm at a loss here, guys.
Sidebar.
Yeah. No, that was
Back in
Sam.
the minute.
That was me. Sam's at a loss.
Oh yeah,
Well,
I'm at a loss too. But
This is.
do you have more questions for the noble guy? There's a few I could ask the gnome, but I'm
Yeah,
but
no, if you have questions, ask them for sure.
I'm quite heavily pushing that third party option. It just seems like a political intrigue case to me.
Yeah, I do think nobody of those two are at fault.
I agree.
Because I have a hard time thinking he was going to kill his only heir, especially when there's rival houses, right?
Yeah, he would be a prime target, but at the same time, he said he was an embarrassment to the family, and
Yeah, but he doesn't have another heir.
it puts him at risk. But it doesn't stop him being able to conceive. His wife could be pregnant. We don't know. If she's
She's
pregnant,
not
he's found
here.
out. If his wife's pregnant and he wants to keep on the secret and kill his son, so in 6 months' time he has a new heir. It's miraculous.
We want to ask about that?
Well, if you talk to the noble, because I've talked to him a bit, I've got a few questions for the gnome, pushing if he was contacted maybe, or how loyal he is.
Okay, go on.
And I can intimidate him.
Or you could talk to the guards. They might respect you.
Oh, okay.
No?
I don't know what to ask them.
Okay,
They
okay,
seem just like bullies.
Yeah, okay, you seem big and strong, big man. You go and intimidate. That sounds good.
I was going to try and intimidate the noble, but that's a fierce warrior. He's not going to be intimidated. And he knows he can't be hurt.
But we don't have the whole story from the gnome. So, right?
Could
We haven't figured that out yet.
we ask for a trial by combat? The gnome could designate someone else. I mean, I think some of us may be willing to hit the big guy.
But that doesn't, that just doesn't seem right. Because then someone
would-
dies.
It would resolve guilt.
If it works that way here.
True, it may be different to our world. Alright, let's ask more
All right.
questions then.
yeah. All right.
So I will go over to the little gnome. My little friend,
Yes.
would you consider yourself a dedicatedly loyal servant to your master's house?
Yes, I am.
And have you ever met with members of other houses?
No, I have not been outside the castle since I was brought in.
But you could have met them in your estate. They surely visit.
I guess because you're like
sure
me
you've
and not
met
from here,
others.
you don't know how it works. But slaves are not to be seen in polite company.
Have you ever met with slaves of other houses when they visited?
No, I have not.
So outside of other servants of your master and the estate itself, you've met not a single living thing, apart from your homeland
No.
where you were taken from.
It's been a long, long time.
And have you ever had any outbursts of anger at your mispunishment, the situation you find yourself in?
Yes, I do get angry, but never in front of people. Of course I get angry.
And do you know of other slaves or staff of the estate who may feel anguish towards the master himself and feel like his son would be a worthy target for the retribution, or have a particular anger against the victim's son, the son, sorry, because our good friends of the guards over there say there was no one but you who felt anger against this gentleman.
There could be. I don't know what's in the heart of the other servants.
So you don't know of anyone who has the same sort of mistreatment as you from either the master or the son?
No.
Or the lady of the house?
No, nobody gets mistreated like I did.
Okay, Magnar's going to go up to the gnome.
Or you say you did not kill him, but did you want?
No.
Did you want him dead?
Yes.
Do I think that's why he was hiding? What he was hiding before, when Margarine asked if he was?
Oh yeah. I mean, it definitely seems like he doesn't want that broadcast.
Okay.
Was there anything that was off about maybe the day or weeks leading up to this murder that you noticed?
No, nothing. I know he was fighting with Sir Caden much more, because Sir Caden wanted him to go on some raids, and Master Gabriel would refuse to.
And did your master have any... Was he worried at all, or angry at anyone else in particular in the last weeks, days, months?
No, not that I know of.
Nothing out of the ordinary.
Mad at me every time he would get done talking to his father. He would come in and beat me.
Why you specifically?
Who
Why
else
not the
could
other?
he beat? I was his slave. Once his father took me from my home, he gave me to Master Gabriel as a present. I was his.
And did your master have any other attendants, or were you his main attendant?
I was his only attendant. I was his slave. His father said it would teach him responsibility.
You said that when you found your master, he was laying differently than normally when you go wake him up.
Yes.
Did he look like he had been struggling, or was he just laying there?
Maybe struggling. I don't know. He'd been stabbed so many times, it's going to move his body around anyway, right? So, I don't... maybe he was struggling. Maybe it was just from getting, hurt.
And was there anything out of ordinary about the room when you went in? Was the door open? Was the windows open? Was anything smashed? Mud trails at all?
No.
Anything at all out of the ordinary?
No.
And was the door locked at all, by any chance?
No,
Did
it
your
was
master-
open like normal.
Wide open or just unlocked?
Unlocked.
And is your master's room on the first, second, third floor?
It's on the third floor of the West Wing, the family wing.
Does it have a balcony at all, or is it easily accessible from a window, or...
No balcony. Someone would have to climb up or climb down.
Were the windows locked at all, or were they left unlocked on a latch?
I don't know.
You want to think about that for a little bit, Ryan, while I talk to
Yeah,
Dad?
it seems like a weird one. I'm not sure, but yeah.
Yeah, I'll walk up to the elf man and I'll say, "Sir, I'm very sorry for the loss of your son.
Yes.
Yeah, a man with as much power as you must. It must be very difficult to not have an heir at the moment.
Yes.
Who stands to inherit from your son's death?
Right now, no one.
No one.
No.
That's a hard position for a man like you to be in.
Yes, and my wound is very fresh. You're doing nothing but pouring salt in it right now.
I'm sorry that I would wound one such as you.
It is a dangerous proposition.
Yes. It is. It's quite dangerous for you to be speaking like that. Now tell me. You have no heir. If something were to happen to you, what would happen to your house?
My wife would take it over.
Your wife. And she's not here. Everybody said she's too distraught to come to court.
Yes.
I see. I'll turn to the judge. Is there any way we can speak to his wife, or?
Yes, we could have her summoned.
While they're doing that, I'm just going to message spell Margraine again. So remember to talk about the over-friendliness.
Yeah. Yes. Well, we very well may summon her. I'd hate with how distraught she is. That she can't even show up. I commend you, sir. You do have nerves of steel. You are very composed right after your son dying.
Yes.
Now tell me, you heard your guardsmen over there. They said you felt your son was too friendly with his mother.
Yes, he was. He had no warrior spirit.
I see. And tell me, so you said you mean, his mother, she babied him. She made him less of a man. Yes.
Hey, she made him less of a warrior.
Less of a warrior. Okay. You don't like your son much. We all know this. You're not too sad over his death.
Of course I'm sad over my death. His death. I loved my son. I was just disappointed in who he was.
I see. And you wouldn't kill him, no?
No.
And I get nothing off of that, right?
No.
Okay.
He seems genuine.
I don't think anybody here is responsible for it, guys.
I
think we can tell the court that. I think that's the right judgment.
One last thing I want to ask the elf.
Yeah, go on.
Go over to the elf and say, so one final question from me, my loving friend here. When you discovered that your son had been killed by, as you presume, this gnome, how did you control yourself in that pure anger, pure rage at that moment from just taking out your retribution against the small gnome? I mean, I can only speak from my personal experience, but if anyone had ever hurt my father, I would have torn them in half. How would a mighty warrior like you control himself from such a weak creature killing your only living heir?
I did not become the great warrior I am by giving in to my emotions. I am able to set those aside and think clearly when the time calls for it. I've been in many harrowing situations, lost friends and loved ones, seen them murdered in front of my eyes, and still kept myself composed. And that is why I'm here today. And that is why I have made myself a noble, and you are a nothing.
I'm sorry, my friend, but you know very little of me. All I know is that you stand accused of murdering a family member.
Yes, accused, but I did not do it. And I do have faith in our system that it will protect an innocent man.
Seems like a very heartless creature stands before me. Sidebar?
Sure.
Yup.
I think we found the name of this episode.
Sidebar, yeah.
I feel there's something the elf isn't letting on to, and I think he is the responsible party, just not directly responsible for the actual murder.
Murder. See, my problem is, I don't like him. But I'm trying to be like impartial, do a good job about this.
Oh, I think him being accused wouldn't be a bad job, but I don't think it'd be the best outcome for his estate in the long run.
I don't think killing him for this, if he's innocent, is the best thing.
Also, we don't know what repercussions this will have outside of here. We don't really want to turn an estate against us.
What about the wife? Like, why?
She's being summoned, isn't she?
Yes.
Questioning her, but after her, we don't have many more things to ask.
Right. If she is in line to inherit if this elf dies, depending on her answers.
She may have had anguish against her husband for his mistreatment, if that's what she sees it as, against her son.
So she would kill his son?
No. From what everybody says of the mother, I don't think she would have killed him.
But is she a noble
Maybe
woman?
Her husband.
Or was she a captive?
A mother wolf will go to great lengths to protect her children.
By killing them? She'll kill them and protect them?
He's openly admit to beating and hitting his son.
And she'd kill him to save him from
Fire
a beating.
genasi mothers are weird.
Wow. Well,
Hey,
again,
you don't know
more.
our culture. You don't lay a finger on the son, that's for certain. Not the eldest son, especially when the overly friendly relationship.
But I don't think she'd kill him to spite her husband.
Don't know the state of their marriage, and he doesn't seem like a particularly caring husband. Whether she could be equally heartless.
So this is just Sam here, not Margarine. So this is kind of where I'm at right here. I don't think either of them are guilty. I think if we tell the judge that's either going to be the right answer, or we're just going to have to face the consequences, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in this situation you're correct. I don't think either of them are directly responsible. We can wait for the wife, or I'm happy giving a no guilty verdict, or not enough evidence.
Yeah.
He said
I
we
don't
can do
think
that.
there's enough evidence. Yeah, right?
Yeah, I mean, we have nothing but a couple people's words that this guy did it, and then they just assume he did because he's a slave, but so
Also,
what?
I don't want to be a little too meta here, but I feel Alex is trying to appeal to our higher morals, make us hate this elf. Yeah, that's at least where I am. I'm cool ruling not guilty, and or not enough evidence.
Not enough evidence. Okay, yeah. So if we wait,
you think so?
Yeah, I think so.
There is only the issue on that one of if this stops the investigation completely, just cancels it out, and that gnome goes back to that state, he's just going to die.
That's true.
We could try.
Gosh darn it!
We could try and double play the courtroom by giving the gnome the guilty verdict, but that's not really how we're thinking.
But if we
this is courtroom politics, guys.
No. So the judge. We asked the judge. I asked him what he would rule for whoever's guilty as their punishment. He said it's death.
Yeah.
He said he was going to rule that they die.
Should we ask what happens if we give him not enough evidence? Would the gnome go back to that estate, or would... Because if he's going back to that estate, we might as well just give him a guilty verdict.
And make it clean.
Well,
but then
that
would be a wrong judgment, though. That would just be like, oh, we're just going to get it over with quick. That's not a...
Yeah, rather kill him here than kill him at home.
Yeah, that doesn't even make sense.
I'm sure this court's execution method will be a lot cleaner and less painful and less dragged out than...
So Margraine's against that. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
No.
I'm talking all the options here. I'm fine with not giving a not guilty. I'm just saying what could happen.
Maybe we can get the court to hold the gnome.
That's what happens if we give not enough evidence. If he says that the gnome's not going to go back to that state, then at least we can have some form of conscience.
Okay, let's do it.
We're going to go to the judge.
Yeah.
So, have you made a decision?
Nearly, Your Honor. We just want to know, if we say there's not enough evidence because we're not sure, would the gnome and the elf be released back to their estate?
Yes. Why would they not be? They would be released home.
All charges would just be dropped like that?
No, the investigation would continue until further evidence could be found.
So, my concern, Your Honor, the reason my friend here asks is I would be concerned for retribution against the gnome from the father or the guards.
Or the mother.
If they believe that he killed him, they might take their own vengeance before the court can decide.
No, that would be interfering with an investigation, so no. They would be charged with interfering with an investigation themselves, and that's a whole new crime if something were to happen to the gnome.
Oh, wow. Okay. I'm actually rather comfortable with that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right? You'd have to commit a crime to do it.
I'm going to look around, just like a nod of assurance.
Okay.
Like we're all on the same page.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
or will we wait for the wife?
I don't think we need the wife now. I don't think there's enough evidence here to charge either.
I agree.
Okay. Yeah. We deem, Your Honor, that there was not enough evidence to make a judgment at this time.
So it is ruled.
And he hits the gavel, and you wake up once again, breathing heavily, but you all succeed. Thank you for joining us for episode 4 of Beholder's Eye. This was obviously a longer one. Next week will be a bit shorter of an episode, a little bit more action-packed. I know this is pretty heavy on the roleplay, which we definitely enjoyed. Hope you guys did as well. Please remember to subscribe and review on Apple Podcasts, Google Play, Stitcher, or your favorite podcast app. It really helps us out a lot. It helps us spread the word and attract as many people as possible, and we definitely want to grow this community. You can find us on Twitter at @I_beholders and check out our website, BeholdersEyecast.com. Make sure to check out the journal entries from Margraine's POV. Sam also recorded them as well, so you can get even more of that sweet, sweet Beholder's Eye action. Also, we have original character portraits up provided by Ben, who plays Magnar. So we've got a crazy talented cast here, and hope you guys take the time to check that out. All music provided by INCOMPETECH. Aftermath, Gagool, Penumbra, Our Story Begins, Curse of the Scarab by Kevin MacLeod, INCOMPETECH.com. Licensed under Creative Commons by Attribution 3.0 license. All the sound effects were provided by Zapsplat.com. For a full list of sound effects, please check out our show notes. Show editing performed by Sam Kinneary, and effects and music editing by Benjamin Floyd. Once again, thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.